good. It's been really good. If anybody I talk to, I would say you've got to go on this show. It's amazing from everybody. Even there's a Tottenham fan over there called Lincoln. Even he's nice.
Paul Merson is the latest celeb to be evicted from Strictly. Some would say it's a shock, but others aren't surprised at all. However, he was in a very, very tense dance-off with JB Gill. I mean, they were both really, really good, but JB made quite a lot of mistakes, and Paul, the judges picked up on timing, but everyone's saying Paul shouldn't have gone. It's all getting too predictable, and JB in the dance-off was the one that made mistakes. So I don't know what you think, but I'm quite shocked that he's left.
I'm really gutted that Paul's gone because, you know, I liked his dad dancing. I think we needed someone who wasn't a trained dancer, came from a completely different background. I love an ex-sportsman doing it, them kind of clod hopping around.
It's like clod hopping. I love that, clod hopping.
But I also think that, you know, he was gradually getting better, and I enjoy watching people genuinely trying. I don't want to just watch a load of trained dancers do dancing.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was sad that he went. But I also enjoyed the little tiff he had with Craig.
I know. He wasn't scored well at all. Was it Craig gave him a 3?
Craig gave him quite cutting remarks.
It lacked bounce. It lacked turnout because you're very turned in.
I need to meet Craig on Monday and I'll take him to the Emirates and we'll have a little kick around. See if he can get any good by Tuesday.
Well, Craig, I'll take you down the Arsenal and you know, I'll see if you can play football. It was just really good. He looked really annoyed. And I think that there was a lot of nervous laughter and teetering.
Everyone was like, is he joking? I don't really know. But you know, it's like we were saying earlier though, wasn't it a breath of fresh air to see Craig be Craig?
Finally, Craig is like saying what he really thinks. And we're getting some low marks because it can't just be a load of 9s and 10s for the whole way through. That's just boring.
That's one thing I would say about this most recent episode is it was like, you knew that the ones that were good because of the scores, and then they've started to mark really badly, which I love. That's what Strictly's all about.
They're listening to the fans.
They're listening to the fans. And Paul, he did look really, really annoyed. And I think the week before, he did that dance with Karen and he did really, really well. You know, he was in like that kind of top hat and coat and he just looked so good. So I think he'd obviously come into this week going, right, I'm actually quite good, I can smash this. In his VT, he was like super positive. And then this has happened and it's really shocked him, I think.
And all of the judges were saying, oh, Paul, you're smiling. So maybe he was finally starting to enjoy himself.
He was, you could tell.
And then he gets voted off. So I'm a bit gutted that he's gone, but I did enjoy seeing a little bit of drama on TV.
I love a bit of drama. The thing is, though, is, you know, Strictly for me is getting way too predictable with who's going to leave. I already could say that I reckon, is it Dr. Poonam Krishna, is the one with Gorka? I think they're going to go this week just because I can just see it playing out already. It's like almost like every week I feel like I know which one's going to go next. But I don't like that. I think if they got rid of JB this week, I'd have been like, oh yeah, you know, it's a bit of drama, a bit of a shock.
Well, I think it goes back to the views at home, doesn't it? I think if you want someone to stay, you have to pick up the phone and vote.
True.
Because I agree. I like to mix it up with like fan favourites. I mean, to be fair to Dr. Poonam, she has lasted a really long time, considering she basically came out of nowhere.
Yeah, who is she? She's great.
She was one of the lesser known celebs, shall we say. So it's great that she's lasted so long. I think Gorka's also got quite a big fan base.
Massive. Like, he is definitely going to stay, I think. Because of him, I think, I'm not saying he's carrying her because she is good, but I think it is worth saying that the pros with bigger fan base, like, they're much more likely to stay longer, aren't they?
Well, arguably some of the pros are more famous than the celebs.
100%.
Because they've actually been on TV
I think
longer.
Gorka, in this case, is probably a bit more famous. They're brilliant together, though. But we've got to talk about Nick Knowles next.
So Nick Knowles obviously left
He did.
Nick for Us.
Yeah, and I really miss him on the show. For me, he was a bit of a Paul, like, you know, you were saying he couldn't really dance, but it's nice to watch his story. But anyway, he basically, so this week I was writing a story about the fact that, so, you know, at the end of the series on Strictly, they all come back together.
For the finale.
The big finale. It's like glamorous, it's amazing, it's just what we all look forward to. But obviously he's been back and forth for surgery. Bless him, he's really had a time of it. I feel so sorry for him. Anyway, Nick and Luba were forced to withdraw, as you said. He's now said, a fan questioned him on social media, said, will you still be able to do the end of series dance in the final? Wouldn't be right not to see you there. And he said, I'm not sure my injuries will allow. I have to wait for the knee operation until the bicep operation has healed so I can use crutches afterwards. So basically he said, I don't think I'll recover in time, sadly. So maybe he
Who would have thought that going on Strictly? I mean, he's completely battered, bless him. I saw a picture of him on the red carpet this week and he looks like he's been in some car accident. He's got like crutches, like you said, he's got his arm in a sling.
Yeah,
it's pretty gnarly. bizarrely.
And the fact that it's not all from Strictly, bless him. Like, one of them was from Strictly, but the other one's from changing a car tyre. And I thought, how, they wait for so long to be on this show. It's like a once in a lifetime, and then that happens.
Mr. DIY as well. It's a shock.
I know, and I do miss him, but I think, it's really sad. It's obviously quite a long way away. It's like 2 weeks before Christmas, isn't it, or something, the final. But yeah, he probably won't be there.
Maybe he can hobble on and just sort of show his face
he could
and
do
wave.
This, jazz hands.
Exactly.
There we go. I should be on Strictly myself. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the final. So anyway, what we also need to talk about, Giovanni, TV appearance.
Yes, so this week, Giovanni Pernice, who was under investigation after Amanda Abbington complained about him in rehearsals, hit back and did his first TV interview on Lorraine.
I was shocked.
It was quite a long interview. It was about 20 minutes. And I was really impressed with Christine Lampard, who interviewed him, because she went kind of investigative journalist mode.
She did.
And asked all the serious, hard-hitting questions and didn't let him sort of get away with just saying, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Obviously, she went in. And also Ranveer Singh, who was partnered with him, it's been reported that she had also given her evidence to the investigation. She's part of Lorraine, the show. She will have probably spoken to Christine behind the scenes. And I don't know, it's got really mixed reviews. Some people have sort of, the die-hard Gio fans have said, oh, he hasn't done anything wrong. But a lot of people were sort of thinking, well, we've seen how upset Amanda was and the things that the BBC upheld. And Giovanni has said he's got no regrets.
Very brazenly, very boldly said that as well, didn't he?
He would still go and call her those names again.
Yeah.
And Giovanni sniggered and smirked when Christine was reading out the statement from Amanda. And I just thought
that. I can't believe he did that.
It just looked a bit disingenuous. Regardless of whether he believes he did anything wrong, I just think from a professional, kind of feminism point of view, you shouldn't snigger at someone else's misfortune.
I'm absolutely surprised if he's done that. Like, that is absolutely shocking. And I think, do you know what shocked me? Just him being on TV. Like, it feels like it's quite soon after everything that's happened. But then I also understand that everyone deserves that opportunity to kind of put their side of the story across. I think, so let's just recap some of the things he said. So he said Amanda was a brilliant dancer. But, just going back to what you were just saying, he said he'd like to have a cup of tea with her. I feel like that's quite a strange thing to say, isn't it? Like,
it's making the whole thing and minimising it and making it seem kind of a bit blasé. When she's obviously said that she has PTSD from it. She's had death threats from being brave enough to make her complaint.
Well, totally.
And to sort of minimise it to a cup of tea feels a little bit... disingenuous, but that's just my opinion.
She's given an exclusive statement to us, hasn't she? She said, Mr. Pernice's claim that everything in the rehearsal room worked perfectly is false, delusional, and underlines, like you were just saying, the toxic culture Miss Abbington endured on Strictly Come Dancing. It's a long statement, but she's essentially saying this is ridiculous, So.
And what's really good is that because of the investigation, the BBC apologised to her, and they realised that they had a problem with the culture on Strictly Come Dancing, and have now got a producer in the studios with the pros and the celebrities, just making sure everything's okay, which is kind of fair enough, because to be rehearsing very closely one-on-one with someone for 8 hours a day, it's quite intense and intimate, isn't it?
I can't believe they never had anyone in the first place.
I know. Well, you can see how the curse of Strictly happened, i.e. all the romances.
Absolutely. But do you know what? We've not even spoken about this. Does this mean the curse could be over? Because how are they going to, I mean, I know we've got Pete and Joita. I mean, it's not stopping them. That's for sure.
But also I think that the BBC quite like the curse. They're leaning into that because it provides the are they, aren't they on the dance floor.
Totally.
And also, as Amanda said when I interviewed her, there's nothing to stop them from going for a drink afterwards. It's just the rehearsals. If it's like anywhere, if you fancy someone, you can always spend time with them outside of work.
And you'd really try to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So who knows? What do we think of Pete and Joita? Do we think it's still going strong?
Well, Pete, Lothario Pete, he was seen snogging his old ex, Maura Higgins, this week, who's also Giovanni's ex. Apparently they've got loads of exes together. Because also Giovanni's ex is Joita. It's like a big kind of strange love triangle.
Of course.
I don't even know what shape that would be. But yeah, I think that maybe things may have cooled, or maybe they're a bit open. I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
Because I definitely believe this eyewitness who told me that they were snogging at an event this week. So yeah,
or
maybe he's just very touchy-feely.
Maybe.
Love.
On the topic of Pete, though, So his dance, Craig apparently wants to disqualify Pete. So we've got a bit of an exclusive this week. So basically, viewers were shocked over the weekend when Craig called for the reality star, Pete, to be disqualified over an illegal move.
That is totally illegal. There were 2 lifts. 1 foot should remain on the floor at all times, of course. And I think even a disqualification dance.
No,
I didn't even know illegal moves were a thing. Maybe I'm just naive.
Craig's just on fire. He's
going
answering
for
our
it.
prayers
Yes.
and mixing it up.
I know. So basically, I think Pete did some sort of illegal lift, but I'm not sure what. But then we asked him at the Pride of Britain Awards if he stood by what he said, and he said, of course. He said, it'll never happen, though. I don't think we've ever really disqualified anyone, but at least we can mark them down if they do something illegal. But I mean, what is an illegal lift?
Yeah, I feel like they need to kind of tell the audience what these rules are.
Yeah, because we have no idea what it is.
It makes it sound a bit saucy. Do you know what I mean? Like, ooh.
Maybe it was. It is Pete Wicks after all.
I know.
And they've got Halloween coming up this weekend.
I love Halloween because they really mix it up, all the costumes.
Yeah. But there is a lot of backlash online because, you know, diehard Strictly fans, they like to see what songs everyone's doing. I mean, I love it as well. What song everyone's dancing to. So just, like, what do you think of these songs? So this is for Halloween. I Like to Move It, Staying Alive, Sweet Dreams, the Addams Family theme. They're predictable.
Vanilla. Very vanilla.
Do you know what I mean? They might as well add Thriller to the list.
I want them to mix it up a bit. I want them to go a bit edgier. Like, you know, let's tune into some movies.
Totally.
You know, the movie Us. They could go into that. Movie. I've got 5 on at Luna's.
Yeah.
They could do. I mean, what other things could they do?
But just look at kind of some of the trending kind of horror films. Slash horror. Get a slash horror song. Throw it in there. Let's see them dance to it.
I suppose their hands are tied because, you know, it's a family show. And they have to be a bit careful because I think that in the past they've said they don't have any scars as part of their makeup. So it is a bit tough. But, you know, you can think laterally, can't you?
So much they could do. And I do think some of the songs, it kind of puts me off watching when I'm like, oh, not this song again. Do you know what I mean? It's just a pop classic and I'm like, no, I don't want to hear it again and again. And I think viewers have noticed that they are recycling some of the songs they've already done for Halloween again this week.
Love it.
But you know what? We're not going to not watch, are we?
I do love seeing the judges all dressed up in their costumes. I am looking forward to seeing, hopefully, Anton de Beek or Craig Horwood in drag. I don't know, that just does it for me.
I love it. I love seeing Craig dressed up. I don't know what it is. Hi, Craig.
And he looks grumpy. He looks ridiculous as he looks grumpy. I think that's it. Easily pleased.
So we always finish off by saying, which changes all the time, who we want to win based on kind of what we've seen so far / the last episode. Who's your winner at the moment?
Oh my God. So Chris Causland dancing to You'll Never Walk Alone, the waltz. It's such an emotional song and I don't know, it kind of all got a bit, I don't know, like emotional for me watching it because you realise how well he's doing considering he's blind and how inspirational it is. I felt like at that moment I was just like sold.
This is amazing.
He obviously got a standing ovation from the judges.
He did.
So yeah, that was my winner this week.
Was it? So you're like Team Chris now?
Yeah.
Love that. So I've actually swapped too. So I was Team Chris and I still am. I love Chris. However, my winner at the moment is Jamie. Jamie Borthwick is, oh my God, his dance was amazing. You know when you see like a dance coming up and you're just like, wow, and you get goosebumps just watching it straight away. I just knew it was going to be so good, and then that kind of confirmed it for me when the judges all stood up. And I think it was 3 of them, but do you know what was so annoying? So Craig gave him a 9 and the rest of them gave him 10, and I was so unsatisfied with it. I was like, he needed 40.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were so close to perfection.
You know, you might be onto something there because didn't he win the Christmas special that he took
did,
part in?
yeah.
So he's been on EastEnders for eons. So he's got a huge fan base.
Yeah.
But he could be the dark horse of the competition.
He could be the dark horse. That's actually something that Tasha Gori's dad has been saying. He's been saying to everyone, stop giving Tasha backlash about the fact that she's danced before because Jamie won the Christmas special and JB Gill's a JLS dancer, blah, blah, blah. So people are annoyed actually because they're like, stop calling out other people to defend Tasha.
I love that the dad's been gobby.
Oh, the dad is getting involved.
He's always said, he's been saying quite a lot throughout the whole competition.
He has been very verbal about it. I think he's just so defensive of Tasha.
Love a protective dad.
Protective dad.
Great.
But yeah, for me, winner is Jamie so far. I do think he's one to watch, but Chris is definitely going to steal the show, isn't he?
Okay, well, let's see what it is post-Halloween. We'll catch up next week.
Cannot wait. See you then.